Alrighty guys, so just about to start my Muay Thai class. Today it's more of a mixed class, so it's our morning Muay Thai class. I find that there tends to be a few more beginners in this class. It sometimes shifts, so it's not a officially one or the other. It is a mixed class, but I do find right now the group is more of a beginner group. So what I usually do with my planning, I follow my usual routine between cycling between more pad work, less pad work, more live work, even for beginners. And the focus day again is going to be straight away we're in our partner work. So we're learning how to attack each other and defend each other in the context of being in front of someone and having to block against a shot coming towards us, as opposed to pads, which is slightly different. So yeah, so how I go about it is I tend to make the drills a little bit more beginner friendly, not overly complicated, but in a way as well where if someone is a bit more advanced, they can do it and they're still going to get a lot out of it. So I'll start off the same, a combination which I've given them, one that I've planned ahead, and then they're going to practice that combination on each other. Again, I always encourage them to go slow to start off with, see where their partner is at, and then if both of them get into a good rhythm, then they can bump up the intensity from there. Once they've done that, or that round, then we're going to go into a 1-for-1. So this is where they literally throw one shot each and they go back and forth. And the idea is meant to feel kind of like a game of tennis. You go, I go, you go, I go. And again, if you're at a decent level, you can go to pretty decent intensity with this one. Sometimes I'll specifically mention to move a little bit more like freestyle sparring. So instead of it going back and forth like a tennis ball, I might throw one, you throw one, then I'll move around. So when the ball is in my court, to follow their analogy, I might throw back straight away or I might move. And you got to get used to that different kind of tempo and that timing. So, and that's a bit more representative of real sparring, right? Once we've done a round of that, we're then going to go into our, what was next? 1-for-1. I've got it. 1-for-1. Oh, yes. Then we're going to go into our freestyle Dutch drill. So this is where they can throw whatever they want. There's no preset combination. I could throw 3 shots. I could throw 4 shots, 2 shots. I usually tell them 2 shots minimum, 5 shots maximum. Don't go less or more than that. And to intentionally change the amount of shots they throw. So that way they're not in the habit of always throwing 3 or 4 shots. But if anyone's a beginner, just stick to one. Do whatever you can actually mentally handle. After we've done a round of that, we're going to do a drill or what's called 1-for-2. So for a whole round, one person just throws 1 shot. So let's say I'm the one that throws 1. The other person is going to defend that 1 and come in straight away with 2. Now, it doesn't have to be fast or explosive. It can be slow and easy, but it's got to be instant. So, you know, I like to say the moment it touches your skin, you're in. I like to use a lot of rhymes in my class. I find it helps, stick. So once that shot touches your skin, you come back in straight away. And that just teaches you to be quick on your returns and forces you to be quick in the sense of looking for what you want to go for. But again, that ability to be quick at returning and actually seeing what you want to go for, that's also a skill that takes time. So I tell them, don't stress too much. Even if you throw something that's predictable, that's okay. Just get in the habit of going back straight away. Sometimes we'll train in a way that we train the ability to see things. Sometimes we train the ability to just go. And that's what we're doing here. So 1 round, I throw, defend, and they come back to 2 shots straight away. And it has to be a punch and a kick for this one. So they're learning to change. They're not just using punches, not just using kicks. Once we've done that, we're going to swap over. And then we're going to go into our live rounds. So this is, again, I love following the constraint-led approach. A bit of a buzzword at the moment is the ecological approach. And I'm all for it. Maybe I'll do another video one day where I talk about what I take out of that and how I apply it. But again, a big believer in trying to replicate the environment as much as we can in a way that's safe. And in that way of doing things, we're going to go into, it's going to be quite simple. For the first round, we can only use our lead hand. So that could be a jab, a lead hook, a lead uppercut, and only to the head. And we can only use our rear round kick. So it could be a leg kick, a body kick. For the more advanced guys, I say, go for head kicks as well. No push kicks, no teeps. Okay, no switch kicks, just our rear. So it's lead hand, rear leg. And again, they're going to be completely free sparring with that. Okay, they're just going to be flowing, learning. And by restricting what they have to focus on, it kind of frees their mind to do more within those limitations. And again, they learn the relationship between those two tools. The next round, after they've done that, it's going to be similar, but this time it's going to be the lead hand and the lead leg. All right, so the lead hand rear leg is something you do pretty early on. You learn left hook, right low kick, lead uppercut, rear round kick, But going lead hand to lead leg, that's not something we generally do till later on. So they're going to already start exploring that environment straight away. So lead hand, lead leg, a very common, easy one is that jab to the inside low kick. So playing around with that. And then the next round, we're going to smush those together. So we're going to have the lead hand still, but now they can go rear leg and left leg and intentionally try to mix it up so it becomes a little bit less predictable for their partner. After we've done that, now all we're going to do, we're going to go one step closer to completely free sparring. We're going to throw our rear hand. So we've got our lead hand and we've got our rear hand, still only to the head. The kicks can be leg and body. So it's like 85, 90% freestyle sparring. But again, just a little bit, there's no level changing with the punches. It's still somewhat predictable. Next round, after that, we're basically freestyle sparring. Starting as usual with skipping. Honestly, I think there's some better ways we can get warmed up, but I'm already untraditional as it is, so I thought I'll just stick to the usual kinds of warm-ups. Plus, I like skipping. So now we're starting with our first drill with a scripted combination just to avoid too much unpredictability and just to learn some new things, right? Sometimes we get in the pattern of doing the same thing every single time. So it's just good to introduce different kinds of combination sequences. And then the next one we're going to go into is just a 1-for-1. So I throw, you throw, I throw, you throw. Sometimes straight away, sometimes we allow a little bit of movement in between. I think this is good for all levels and really switches on our eye and our reaction at the start of the session. The next one we see here is the freestyle Dutch drill. So now there's no set number of shots. You could throw 2, you could throw 4, and the point is to change it up. So the person actually has to really pay attention to when you're done your combination and capitalize on that little break right after. So now the next drill, a little more technical. We've got one person firing off straight away and the other one's going to return with 2 instantaneously. So it's about that rapid fire ability to go from attacking to blocking straight away and from blocking to attacking straight away. I think it's a very important skill to develop as soon as we can. And this is more representative of freestyle sparring, all right? The person's going to throw something as soon as you're done or even interrupt you. You've got to be ready to attack and defend straight away. And now we're into our restricted sparring round. So the restriction is you can only use your lead hand to box and your rear leg to kick, leg kick and body kicks only. And again, this is just going to force you to learn how these things are connected and how they work together. And on this next round, it's our lead hand with our lead leg. So getting used to the same side attacks because we get so used to our lead side setting up our rear side, we've got to use our lead side to also set up our lead side. So it's good that even at a beginner level, we can get used to this. And now that we've gotten used to using both sides, we're going to combine them together. So our lead hand with both legs. So finding how can I use my lead hand to set up my left leg and my lead hand to set up my right leg, and how can I use my lead leg to set up my right kick and my right kick to set up my left kick. And just the relationships and how these things are connected. It's all part of the exploration process and that learning process. And the more you explore, the better you get. And now for the last round, we're just going to include the rear hand. So we got our both hands, both legs, but the restriction is still no teeps and no level changing with the punches. So no real complaints today with the class. I was pretty stoked to see that many people after an Australia Day, which was just yesterday. So like public holiday, people getting a little bit, a little bit rowdy. So I was like, actually, I wouldn't have been surprised if only like one person showed up, but we had a good, decent like 6 people, including my assistant coach Cass. So it was pretty good. I was pretty happy about that. But yeah, no real complaints. Just the usual struggles that come with people being beginners. Whether it's their, the little small things that help them keep the balance, they forget those things. They try to do too much, or maybe I put too much on them, and then I've actually got to strip it back and be like, okay, actually, just do this. This is what you need right now. And just like little basic technical things. So, you just make those corrections as you go. The one thing I did have to kind of stop the group on was there was one drill where the whole point was to develop the ability to defend and instantaneously return. And they're trying to rush through it and they weren't quite getting that rhythm. The person would attack and the person would wait and then they'd come back with their 2 shots. I'm like, well, that's not really what I want. So I had to show them, okay, no, this is what I want, and just make that correction. But other than that, everything went well. So, I mean, there's things aren't always going to go exactly how you want, but that's just the nature of it. And then I take that information in and I see, okay, next time, this is how I'll say it. So it makes sense. But yeah, another good class. I'm happy. It's good to see everyone develop and getting better. And I mean, that's all you can ask for as a coach. So until next time, guys.